Have you ever lent something from a friend just to give it back at some stage, and you decide for yourself that you cannot go on with your normal life without it? If that is you, hit the subscribe button over here. All right, today we are going to test something out of the ordinary. Thermal imaging equipment. Right. If you want to see what's going on at night, you need a good and effective thermal imaging monocular or a viewer or something for your telescope. We tested a infrared monocular viewer finder for approximately 14 days, and it was during the load shedding period in South Africa. So when it's dark at night, when it's completely dark at night and people are lying in their beds waiting for the morning to come and there's no electricity in your area in South Africa, that was the periods I went out and I look at what's going on. Using a thermal imaging equipment, I can promise you, it lights up your darkness. Doesn't matter where you are. Have a look at this. My motto in life is to use darkness to your advantage. And that's why I say darkness is my friend. Now, how do we go about getting darkness as your friend? Because everybody wants to work during the dark, but they do not know how. Now, the first thing I'm going to test and review now today is what we call the Infiray E6 Pro. Now, the Infiray E6 Pro is a thermal monocular that is available to us in South Africa. Now, the basic principle here is that you need something that will be able to look at night and to monitor what you need to see. And the method that we use today, and this instrument is called a thermal imager. To be exact, it's a thermal monocular, a product by Infiray, and this is the E6 Pro. Basically, you hold it in your hand. The buttons over here, it's very easy to use. All the buttons over here, very easy to use, and you place it on your head or your eye, and there you go. Right. Very important, and I'm going to do a full review on this now, is that this is top-notch product in South Africa currently available. Yes, it's expensive, but this is setting the standard. Right. So, before we carry on with the review, if you like this video, please subscribe with the button over here, and let's look at it. Thank you. The instrument came in its unique sturdy carrying case. All that you need, including the charging components and spare battery, are stored inside the case. The camera is covered with a rubber shell and has a mounting pot for a tripod or any other photographical stand. What I like about the eye shade is that it covers the whole eye cavity, meaning that no glare can be seen by any other person, even standing next to you. The controls are easy to use. I immediately picked it up out of the box and could control the buttons. A truly remarkable product. Well done to the guys of Infiray for an exceptional good instrument. NETD. It is a measure of how well a thermal imaging detector can distinguish between very small differences in thermal radiation in the image. NETD is typically expressed in millikelvin, 50 millikelvin being moderate and 25 mK exceptionally good image quality. When you start to use the viewer, it is important to first orientate yourself by doing a quick scan of 360 degrees. You can then decide your course of action. What I like about the viewer is the sleep function. You basically must press and hold the on-off button to allow the viewer to initialize. If you press the on-off button once and release, it will go into a sleep mode. The function thus saves on battery life. Smaller sized game was identifiable, up to 800 meters. Many duiker antelope were seen regularly in the fields surrounding our town in different locations. Let us look at expensive game animals such as the golden gnu. One of the local game breeders has a few of these animals next to the road. Interesting to realize that the horns of these antelope are cold and only the body gives off a heated image. Medium-sized game, such as the springbok, was visible and identifiable up to 650 meters. What can we say about the smaller animals identifiable through the infrared viewer? Yes, that is correct. You are looking at a pair of 4 striped grass mice at the bottom left corner. These mice stay in underground tunnel constructions, and where there are these type of mice, there will always be certainly a Cape Cobra. Snakes are cold-blooded and unfortunately not visible through a thermal imager. I bet you didn't know that. Stock theft is the order of the day over the whole country. Due to the constant unemployment of about 40% of our population, stock theft is very high priority. I took this off the nearest flock of Dorper sheep. You will see that their behavior and relaxed attitude speaks volumes, and once you notice uncomfortable, it can almost always be certain of danger near. Now that you have witnessed what an amazing role thermal imager can play in fighting crime in the agricultural environment, let's look at the massive role it can play in combating crime and the prevention of crime. The next series of photos explain what happened while moving and standing still in an area where even the dogs know that a person standing still is spelling trouble. The dog started to bark. The homeowner came out with a flashlight to inspect. On this night I had a walk in the dark. Keep in mind the meaning of load shedding in South Africa. It is a South African term used for the periods we must go through without any electricity. Sometimes we are lucky and go without electricity once a day for a period of 3 hours. Sometimes we go through 3 periods of 3 hours each in one day. If you do not have a backup power source, well, you are in complete darkness. Most of these images and videos were taken during these periods called load shedding. Some are in the morning hours of 2 a.m. and some are at the night between 9 p.m. and 11 p.m. Most of these areas I have filmed are extremely dangerous to walk through at night. It is normally dark, even when the lights are on, and the population know the unwritten law that bad things happen at night, as the robbers are very active at night. With the load shedding, it is extremely dark, and I use the opportunity to best of my ability. The following recordings were made in the residential area in my immediate neighborhood. The role this viewer can play for the person who wants to see at night is so valuable. It truly is remarkable, to say the least. You basically now have eyes at night. The only limitation is that you cannot see through windows or walls. These guys were walking at about 11 p.m. at night. This was also during load shedding. I did not see them through my vehicle lines and took a chance of parking next to the road and looking through the viewer. These gentlemen appeared in my field of view, and I did not know about them until using the thermal. They obviously did not know I have the capability and casually was walking around until I found the homeowner to take a drive. The following videos are of another grouping of people staying near our neighborhood. Some of them are staying in the bushes and living in the area as homeless people. They will look through the trash at night. They will stay at a distance to observe the routine of homeowners, and they will at some stage be driven by hunger to go the crime and robbery route. Unfortunately, this during the dark hours of the night. This video looks at people gathered around a fire during total darkness. Load shedding in the winter months is cold and dark. This image was also in total darkness during load shedding. I heard someone crying and shouting for help and noticed at about 120 meters guys assaulting a person on the ground. Infiray, can you find better? Equipment available from David's Armoury, gear to fight giants.